Because I'm in a healthy place.
Right.
And I'm not fully there. I'm a
Right.
work in progress.
Right.
But my overall well-being, I'm thinking about my health. I'm thinking about my wealth.
Right.
I'm thinking about my legacy.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about those that I come in contact with, that I've operated under the spirit of fear where I wouldn't be transparent, but they needed my voice.
Right. Wow. Yeah. A silent voice can be detrimental.
Absolutely. And they need my voice, and I don't need to feel validated from them.
Right.
I'm able to give freely. And if they don't say thank you, if they never come back and
Right.
say what it did for them, I'm okay with that.
Right. It's your journey, not
It's
their
my
journey. Right. Yeah.
And I truly believe with every fiber of my being that I survived to be able to tell my story to others.
I do too, because this is a good story. I think you should write a book.
I did.
Yes.
I did. But let me even tell you about that book. Oh, this is God. This is God. Because I was thinking earlier about that book, how I told partial truth. And when I say partial truth, that was my story. It is my story. It's accurate. But I wasn't as far along as I thought I was. And God, you know, I always say, listen, this is a story or a show for everybody, okay? But I have to tell you about who helped me along this journey. He allowed me to survive in my right mind and be able to tell my story. However, I believe he allowed other instances and incidents to let me know that I wasn't as far as I thought I was.
Wow.
There still was some growth.
Right.
There still was some development. There still was some curating and cultivating. There still was some things that he had to dig out of me. There were some things that were tucked away because, you know, the longer you don't deal with it,
The more it's tucked away.
and the more, because it's other stuff now comes on top of it.
Right. It's like covered, like in that closet, that shirt that's way, way, way in the back, and everything is on. You like, I know I got this shirt in here somewhere. You can't never find it.
Can't never
and
find
then one
it.
day, you go in that closet and take everything else. Like, there go that shirt.
I'll be honest. Lotus, here it is. I tell you, when I sit in this chair as the interviewee, stuff start coming out. I will never forget. Maybe about a month or so ago now, I was driving down the road, and I told you I'm in therapy. I'm doing EDMR. So those things that I have tucked away, they come up sometimes. I was driving. Something from when I was 14 years old
Wow.
came to my mind, and I just started crying. I was crying so bad I had to pull over. But that was me cleansing.
Right.
That was something else that was tucked
Had to
away.
come out. Right.
That I was being freed from. I was being free from. I'd had a sexual assault at 14, one of a few, and I forgot about it.
Wow.
I forgot it happened to me. At
14 and driving down the street. Wow.
14 years old. But it speaks to those things that we suppress so that we can function.
Right.
That we don't deal with, that we fail to deal with, that it's too painful to deal with. So you think, oh, just forget about it.
Right. I'll tuck that away.
But the body keeps the score.
It does. It keeps record. It keeps record. People say the record goes away. It keeps record.
And if you don't ever release it,
right,
it's in there.
It's in there. Yeah.
So my heart had to be cleared.
Yeah.
My emotions had to be regulated.
What about the triggers that connect to that? Because I think a lot of us deal with triggers. We don't want to address the triggers. But there are triggers.
I have a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I have to be honest about my triggers.
Yeah.
I wasn't always able to. Now I'm able to articulate, hey, That triggered me.
Right.
Give me a minute.
Right.
Let me process it. And sometimes people understand it. Sometimes people become the victim of it
Right.
when it's really not about them.
Right. Right.
I've always been like a truth teller. I have always been able to say to you honestly how I thought about something if you asked me. But to just be able to volunteer you information about me, not necessarily.
No. Right.
Right?
Right.
Or if I told you how I felt, I didn't give you the 100% raw truth about how I felt. One, for so long, I've been told that my truth hurts. So now, even in some conversations, and I was having this conversation last night with my significant other, that sometimes when I'm talking to people, people think I'm not intellectual or they think that I just normally talk slow. No, because I've been told so long that my truth hurts, I'm now
Are you filtering?
filtering. I now take my time in what I'm going to say to people because I don't want to hurt them.
But is that being truthful?
That's where
It's
that's what I was
filtered.
telling him.
It's
I'm learning
filtered
now.
truth.
I'm
Right.
learning now
Yeah.
to not worry
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. You ask. If I ask you, now we kicking back. We just had a birthday now. You know how we get down.
Right,
You,
right,
now
right.
you ask me a question. I'm going to
Truthfully.
give you the answer.
Truthfully.
Right? You asked. And I think why we got to walk on eggshells with the response? Like you asked me. So you already, 95% of the time, you've been around me enough to know, okay,
Then I'm going to tell you the truth.
I'm going to tell you. So you asked, so I'm going to tell you. And sometimes your response, they've already answered. Like I've noticed that in conversation, like you've already answered your own question. So I'll just regurgitate what you said so you can hear your answer because you know your answer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm getting a lot better with that because I have to walk in my purpose.
Right. Your purpose of truth
My purpose of
without
truth.
fear.
So what I've learned to do now in telling my truth is not kill people with my truth by not being rude.
Right.
I do tell the truth, but I tell the truth tactfully. Tactfully.
Yeah.
You can ask me, hey, Maddie, do you like this shirt on me? I'll be like, yeah, I like the shirt on you. But a lot of times that ain't enough for them because it's me.
Like, do you really like the shirt?
Right. It's me.
Right.
So now they're pulling for
Right.
more.
Yeah, I like that shirt on you. I like how it wraps around your neck and how that. You're right.
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 But then I come out and I say, listen, I like the shirt, but me liking the shirt on you is two different things.
Right. I
So-
wouldn't like it on me. It may look good on you. Right.
Or I'll be like, the shirt is not complimentary to your figure.
Right.
Or it's not complimentary to what you have on today.
Right.
If we're friends, I should,
I should be able to tell you that.
I should be able to
We should be
tell you
having
those things.
transparent conversations.
But
I
I've
think.
noticed that people ask for the truth, but they want their version of the truth. Or a truth that's fitting to them.
Right.
I don't know how to deliver
I know how
that
to
truth.
do that, yeah. Because then I'm adjusting my truth to adhere to your truth. That's not my truth.
But it also spoke to the validation
Right.
piece in me.
Right.
Right? People are asking my opinion. People are saying to me, your truths are rude. So now, do you want people to still come to you to speak to that validity that you need? Or are you going to do what you're required to do?
Right.
And give them the truth
Regardless.
without killing them.
Right. Yeah. That's good.
But that took healing.
Did you
That
lose
took
people
time.
along the way with that?
lot
I
of
think, yeah.
I've
I was
lost
gonna
people
say.
in my healing process.
Isn't that something?
I've lost people.
I'm trying to get better. Do you think, this is just, I'm sorry, but I just heard this. Like, what we attract in our broken stage is not the same thing we attract in our healing stage. And I always tell people, be mindful that right now you're broken. You may not want that when you healed. You may not, that version of you may not be there. So are you sure
that broken
you
person.
really, yeah.
That broken person was able to feed their supply.
Right. So what happens when the supply run out? Because you're going through a process of healing.
They don't need you anymore.
Right.
You've served your
You
season
served
for
your
them.
season. Yeah.
You're not able to feed that supply anymore.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, you probably was supplying them from a deficit anyway.
Right. That was good.
So now that you were feeding their supply, you were feeding them at a deficit, they don't always see the value in you restoring yourself.
Right. It's
Because
only
if
what
you
I
res-
can get.
only what they can get from you,
Yeah.
and they know once you're healed and you know better and you do better,
Right.
you know that foolishness you was engaged in,
You're not gonna be in that no more.
you won't call to
Right.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because your lens is no longer filtered for
Right.
that.
Right. Yeah.
You're wanting more. You're desiring more. You're moving towards your purpose.
Right.
And your purpose won't for that foolishness.
Right. It was beyond that
It was
foolishness.
beyond that.
And they don't want to move.
And so when I was clearing my heart, the heart to the mind, stinking thinking changed. I started thinking freely. I started having levels of creativity, levels of wellness. My mental capacity expanded.
Wow. So you became more innovative and just like challenging, like, yeah. It's almost like this superwoman just broke out of her cave.
A new
like,
drive,
it's here. Yeah.
a new purpose, a new sense of well-being. No lower level thinking.
Self-awareness.
At a new
A whole nother
all-time
level. Yes. Because we think we're self-aware. A lot of us are not. Right. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Not even in tune to what's going on around us.
Right.
Not taking the time to sit and just be still. Those racing thoughts are now coming in subjection.
Right. Right.
Because sometimes when you operate in anxiety, depression, stress, your mind is all over
And
the
it's
place.
all kind of voices. Would you say like you a voice away from breaking?
Now this pathway is clearing
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So those things that I'm pushing out now, positivity, innovation,
Right.
new levels in my job and my business, my children looking at me. Is that my mama?
Right. This a new mom right here. Everything new around here,
Who's this lady hugging me?
Right.
I'm stopping to take time to hug and kiss my children again.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah.
I am really engaged in conversation.
Right.
I'm not just like passing by.
Right.
I'm able to sit and listen attentively, bringing my mind in, because my mind was always on the next thing. What I got to do next.
Right.
What's happening next.
Right.
And that's a work in progress in itself.
Yeah.
I will be honest though, that's daily for me.
Okay.
So I've started meditating daily,
Okay.
morning and night.
Yeah.
Because I want to become more self-aware of my environment, what's taking place, how my body feels.
Right.
Take the time to really get grounded before I move into the next. Because that's another thing. Sometimes we take baggage from one thing to the next thing, and we don't take time to stop, drop that load off so that we can go ahead to the next thing and not go weighty, not go heavy, not bringing that stuff to the next thing that we go in.
Yeah. Yeah. Carrying all what they call a bag lady.
Yes,
Just
bag
taking it
lady.
all. Yes.
But I've done all the talking. Listen.
No, this is phenomenal. I love this. See, we got to go back and look at the last Lotuses compared to now and see the growth, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It has definitely been a journey.
Yeah.
Not an easy journey.
Right.
Because on this journey, I had to look at myself more than others.
Don't nobody like looking at themselves? Nobody
Look at myself more than others.
Yeah.
And Lotuses, I'm telling you, when we experience childhood trauma, a lot of times that's the age most of us stop at.
That little girl.
That little boy, we stop right there most times. And it seems like one of my challenges was I didn't feel like people showed up for her in the capacity that they could have. And I believe with every fiber of my being, that's where the validation or the need for validation came from. even as an adult, not always feeling fully supported
Right.
or supported with agenda. Other people have an agenda for when they supported me
Right.
for whatever
Right.
reason.
Yeah.
Afraid to, you can see it in yourself. You can know that you have the skill set for something, but that spirit of fear will have you operating in a level of doubt, of self-doubt,
Yeah.
that you feel like, why me? Have I really been called to a different audience?
Right.
Does somebody really need my story? I'm doing what normal people do.
Right.
I go up, go to work every day, pay my bills.
Right.
There's other women out there that have
Do the same
businesses.
thing. Right. Yeah.
Even with all that you've overcome and gone through, it seems like trauma becomes your normal. But when you sit in a place where you're really unpacking and you're healing, you start to say, this stuff ain't normal.
I thought they was crazy. I might be a tad bit. It might be. Is it me? Like, yeah.
This
Yeah.
ain't normal.
Yeah.
This is what stuff people go through all the time.
Right. Right.
But because you've been through it in cycles, vicious cycles,
Years. Millennials. What they call them? Just
decades.
decades.
The person that you went through with may have changed, but it's the same thing,
Over and over and over and over.
just in a different format, in a different person.
Yeah.
Same spirit.
And then you say, why am I with this?
Knowing you deserve better.
Right.
But don't know how to get out of it.
Yeah. And then you attract it continuously. Same old thing. Just in a different mask or a different.
You're attracting it because it's something in them.
That's pulling you. Yeah.
Because you ain't dealt what was in you.
Yeah.
And what's crazy, Shamila, is I felt uncomfortable in a lot of the things that I was doing, but didn't know how to get out of it.
Right.
And that's just real. New girl, you ain't supposed to be sitting in this trap house.
Right.
You graduated top of your class,
Right.
but you're
This is
in a
dangerous. Right. You see Boys in the Hood. You see Saturday Night. You know how I go to hell.
But you there.
Hey.
You there.
Yeah.
You know you ain't called to that.
Listen.
But there's something in you now that feel like that's normal to
That's
you.
normal. That's normal to be driving with him and he got the package. You know? I'm walking in the store. He buying boxes of t-shirts. Is this the Dawn? Who is you?
Right.
Supplier?
Oh my God. We getting apartments that we ain't got to pay full rent.
Right.
For old boy to lay up with us and pay our rent like he did something.
Right.
Rent is $25. 25.
25.
And it's not to downplay what's happening.
No, it's not.
But honey, if this is you, think about it.
Right.
Been there.
Done that. And overcame it.
Overcame
to
it.
tell you how to get out of it, you know?
Spirit of fear.
Yeah.
We can't talk about all of it in this episode. I hope that y'all continue to tap in this season. I'm going in this season. Last season, I'll be honest and say, it was a little bit of holding back. But I've been called to this. This is my purpose, part of it. I didn't survive it to not share it. We talk about being real. We talk about being transparent. We talk about being our sister's keeper. We talk about doing all these great accolades. And that's wonderful. But I'm going to sit on this couch and share some real testimonies and testaments of my faith where I was challenged in a lot of areas. Starting school and not finishing, abusive relationships, family fallouts, battles in my mind and health. We're going to discuss it this season. Send your letters in to the lotusletterspodcast@gmail.com. Make sure that you subscribe, hit that bell on our YouTube channel, share on Facebook, share on TikTok, share on Instagram. Tell your grannies, tell your aunties, tell your uncles and your cousins about us. Lotus Letters Podcast. Shamila?
We're gone.
We're out.